Hey, and good morning, almost afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Weather Nerds YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Greg Majeski, and we're going to be doing an update right now, a live edition. Don't do a lot of these, and just want to kind of get you guys informed on what to expect with this pretty powerful storm system, which is going to be impacting the eastern, really kind of the east coast of the United States, stretching from Florida all the way up into New England as we go through the weekend. The hot spot for today is going to be down into Florida as we're watching the area of low pressure, slowly but surely kind of getting its act together very slowly. So you got the low still sitting back over here, but you can already see the heavier rains kind of spreading there across the Florida peninsula right now, stretching from the Florida Keys and stretching up into, starting to get into the areas of the Florida Panhandle as well, as we watch the elements of this system kind of slowly but surely come together. As we go ahead and track over to the satellite imagery here, you can see the storm system as it's getting those bright yellows and reds there. That's indicative of some of the thunderstorms kind of firing up around that center of circulation. Not a tropical system, make sure it's clear on this. It's a low pressure system that's going to get some help from various pieces of energy that are going to kind of merge together with the storm system, especially as it approaches the mid-Atlantic and gets into the northeast. And if the pressure drops as low as advertised with this system, you're talking about something pretty close to a maybe a Category 2 hurricane as far as the wind, the pressure, air pressure, as it gets up toward areas of New York City going into this upcoming Monday. So something to watch very closely. Now, for today, the area for concern for today is going to be down across the Florida Peninsula. And this is updated a little bit since yesterday, a little bit further north. So we're looking at areas here basically from areas of Jacksonville coming on down south and pretty much the entire southern peninsula of Florida, looking at the severe weather possibility there for today. Now, the main threat kind of coming in from the storm systems is going to be the heavy wind threat. So that's about a 15% chance. That area there in yellow is the high wind threat with this, as that low pressure corrects in, especially late this afternoon and going into tonight. The tornado risk is also there, generally looking at, looking at the areas there, maybe, 10% or so of seeing a possibility of a tornado, actually 5% there in that area there across the Florida Peninsula. So I think anything that spins up is going to be pretty weak at this point. I don't think it'll be too big of a concern. The main concern with this thing going up is it gets cranky. It's going to be the wind energy, and we're going to see a lot of things kind of transition as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. You're already seeing some of the flood watches kind of going up there. Those are those areas there in yellow across Pennsylvania, going in along areas of Delaware. You see it there in South Georgia, North Florida getting in there. There is in blue, that's your wind advisories. And we'll probably see more wind advisories kind of firing up here as we go throughout today. Tonight, we'll see that additional weather service offices kind of put that up, especially going up into the Carolinas, Virginia, and obviously getting into New England. This is not going to be a blizzard. This is going to be a big rain event, but there will be some snow on the backside of the storm system as it goes by, just a little bit. Not a ton, but there'll be a little bit there as some cold air gets wrapped around the system as we go into this upcoming Monday and into Tuesday. That's when that cold air is really going to come down. So I'm noticing the spotter network. I got them kind of turned on right now. You see those little icons there. They're already out there in Florida in anticipation of the potential for some severe weather taking place. Right now, it's just plain old rain falling across the area. But as the low gets closer to it, if you get some of these embedded thunderstorms to come out of the Gulf of Mexico, you're looking at some again, possibility of some severe weather there, and the storm chasers are out there just to see. You know, they're very passionate about what they do as they go out there and be the eyeballs really for the public at large as well as the National Weather Service. So we can look at the Tampa radar right now. Just looking at plain old rain, kind of a steady rain, nothing too heavy to be concerned about. Stretching really most of the state right now. And this is really good for Florida. Florida has been, I don't know if you've been tracking, especially down toward the peninsula, they've been in kind of a drought conditions down this way. So welcome rains, to say the least. We just don't need any really bad severe weather to cause a problem for the folks up through that part of Florida. So we'll just hopefully just get the rains and they don't get any real bad problems with the severe weather. They are getting some active weather a little bit further south, heading down toward, this is the radar down toward Key West. Seeing some heavier rains and thunderstorms down that way. I have noticed some higher gusts from time to time. Looking at some of the live webcams down that way, doesn't look too bad out there right now. Just looking at a live shot. Here's a live shot here from Key West right now. There was a pretty good squall that was blowing through there earlier when I was looking, checking them out. But they're looking pretty good here for the moment. Marathon's getting hit pretty good though. Look at here's Marathon. Getting some pretty strong winds here coming through Marathon currently, and you see the surf kind of coming up there a little bit as well as the gusty, windy conditions. And this camera down here does pan around a little bit here as the storm system's getting racked up. Now, one thing that's going to be a big concern, if you have anybody traveling maybe early for the holidays, we're going to have some travel delays with this, especially going into this upcoming weekend on Sunday and Monday, I should say. Sunday and Monday are the 2 days there. So bring it back here right now. What we're seeing right now as far as flight delays with the weather, you've got some slight delays there. And let me go ahead and highlight this. Let me go ahead and get into my interactive mode here a little bit, and I can highlight these a little bit for you. And you see the delays there at the Orlando International Airport. That's not too bad, 16 to 30 minutes. Miami, also at 16 to 30. You're already getting some red up here in the Northeast. I don't think that has anything to do with the weather just yet. But I suspect all these areas up here in the Northeast are going to really light up red. In Atlanta International Airport, obviously, being a main travel hub like it is, we'll probably see some delays there as well. But Charlotte, Roanoke, the airports around the D.C., BWI, Philadelphia, Logan, all those airports up the eastern seaboard are going to be impacted with this storm system as this thing gets kind of ratcheted up and gets going there. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going to happen for those who are here on board. And we're going to talk about here looking at the latest model run. This is the European model run from overnight. Now, one thing that has changed a little bit from yesterday, it does appear that it is shifted a little bit further to the east here. So we're going to track this low pressure system as it kind of moves up the eastern seaboard, breaking it down day by day here for you. So you can kind of watch as this thing begins to slowly move on up. So let me go into, I'm going to track this through here a little at a time. So I'm just going to come up here through here. There we go. All right, so this is actually as of the 2 o'clock hour. You see the low pressure there in the Gulf. So I was like, go ahead and take it here a little step forward here. By the 7 o'clock hour Eastern time, you see where the low is sitting at 999 millibars there as it's slowly getting its act together. So that's really around the time where we're expecting that rough weather down here across the Florida peninsula. We've got this upper energy here. That's part of that's coming together. This is going to kind of dive in down toward the Midwest. You get this little piece of energy that was left over from that storm that kind of brought, or the front that kind of brought in some snows out out into New Mexico and rains across Texas. All this is kind of converge. They're all going to kind of converge sitting right in here, and it's really going to allow this system to kind of really get spun up as a kind of the different areas of energy just kind of merging together here as we go into the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and I'll step that down. And we'll step this forward again, this is midnight, and this is going into Sunday morning. So we're down to 993 millibars. You've seen some pretty heavy rains along the coastal areas. You notice these are called lines of equal pressure called isobars. So when you see that many of them, you know it's going to be a little bit breezy around here. Some very heavy rains across areas of South Georgia into the South Carolina and coming offshore. So Florida should be kind of drying out at that point. But these rains are going to continue to spread up the eastern seaboard. And then eventually we're going to tap some of this cold air up here in Canada. That's going to start charging in as well. That'll be another bit of energy that's going to invigorate this system as we go through the day on Sunday and especially going into Monday. So let's go ahead and go forward again a little bit further as we go throughout the day on Sunday. So this is Sunday about 2 o'clock. You see the pressure down to 988 millibars. And by late in the day, we're at 984 millibars. So by late in the day on Sunday, the airports across North Carolina, going up through Virginia, seeing some very heavy rains. You're starting to see the influence here of the cold air starting to move here with another front kind of moving in here as well. So a pretty decent area of low pressure that's only going to get stronger as it approaches New England. And that's going to be... I will tell you, anybody in the mid-Atlantic area, anyone in the Northeast, if you got any Christmas decorations, I definitely would go ahead and secure those or just watch them. You may end up in a neighbor's yard as we go forward. So this is going into, again, this is Sunday or just after midnight. You're down to 982 millibars and 981. I mean, this pressure is really dropping. We're talking about getting into the area of a Category 2 hurricane. Some very gustty gale warnings up along the coastal areas, to say the least. I mean, you're looking at a very vigorous storm system here. Here comes the cold air charging in on the back side of this. You're noticing a little bit of the snows kind of breaking out along the Great Lakes a little bit as this storm begins to move up, get really cranking, heading into the northeast. And by the time we go into around about 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon, look where that pressure is falling down to. We're talking 977 millibars. That is a good Category 2 hurricane equivalent. I'm not saying it's really, so it's a big wind machine. You got the difference between the high pressure here to the west. You got the big low here. You got the very strong flow of wind coming in off those warm lakes. Probably get a little lake effect snows going there. I don't think it's going to drop a whole lot just because it's not really going over long fetches of the lakes as this thing's going to get cranked up. And by the time we head into Tuesday, I think we see things begin to improve. 974 by late in the day on Monday. That's about 7 o'clock. And then moving up into Canada, and then we just got some plain old cold air that's kind of coming in on the back side of this. Again, just coming across the eastern, maybe 1/3 of the country there with some cold air. That's going to be quick-lived. It will not be around long. It's going to quickly move on out. And then we'll have another system we may need to track going into Christmas Day with just some wet weather, rainy weather. It doesn't look severe at this point. Out toward Christmas. We're going to really kind of focus here just on this one system. Let me switch over to the rainfall. That's another big component of this. Obviously, the wind energy, a lot of wind energy with this. That's going to be very strong. We're going to switch over to the total rainfall here, and I'm just going to take this all the way out to the event here, all the way up through the end of the day on Monday. So look at these areas in here. We're talking, the areas there in yellow, we're talking 3 to 4 inches of rain in a very short amount of time. And notice it's also a very sharp dividing line here. So any deviation in this low pressure system as it moves up the eastern seaboard, if it's more to the right, the inland areas get a little. If it's a little bit more to the left, you get a little bit more. But it's a very sharp dividing line between how much rain you kind of get. Look, we'll use Columbus, Georgia for an example here. It's only kicking out maybe 1/3 of an inch of rain. You go over toward Macon, 1.25 inches. You go over towards Savannah, it's almost 3.5 to 4 inches of rain there. So quite a bit of rain going all the way up the eastern seaboard. The coastal areas are going to get pounded very much so, especially from the mid-Atlantic up to the northeast, with some very, very heavy surf. Gale warnings will clearly, obviously, be in effect. Some of the interior sections will have high wind warnings that'll probably be up across New York, Pennsylvania, and going through the mid-Atlantic. Those will probably be issued later today in advance of the storm as it continues to move up this way. So this is a kind of unusual storm in some respects, but it's going to continue to cause some major headaches for folks as we head up the eastern seaboard. So again, let's bring it back here to me here on. We'll switch over to the. Get back over here to this map here. So kind of see where the current looking is right now. So again, this is a storm that folks need to be prepared for. Would not be surprised if we see some power outages as well. If we get some, if the winds go as high as advertised, as the pressure drops as high as advertised. The 12Z GFS is coming in currently. I'll take a look at that here in a second to see if it's made any major changes there. But looks like we're in store for some pretty rough weather across Florida for today. The Mid-Atlantic. Obviously the Carolinas and up toward Virginia, that'll be for Sunday. And then the northeast United States will be hammered very hard on Monday. So again, anybody with any travel plans, I think today will be okay. Maybe some delays down in Florida, but really going to be a problem heading into the week. Hopefully the airlines can play catch up. Obviously a very busy travel time of the year as we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. This is going to cause some problems for some other folks. So what I'm planning to do for you guys watching currently, I'm going to set up a live weather wheel. I'm going to kind of keep this kind of going on a regular basis until I do my next update. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you're coming in after the live broadcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted when I do my next update and see if we've had any changes with the system as this goes on up the eastern seaboard. This is gonna be a good one. Not going to downplay it here too bad, but I'm also going to go crazy with it. It's not the worst storm I've ever seen, but it's going to be a big one, especially once it gets into the northeast. I mean, you're talking about a pressure down to 977. That's gonna blow some trees down. That may cause some power outages, and the flooding element also cannot be underappreciated here. You know, more people die from floods than anything else throughout the year. So if you got anybody who's in the path of this storm, any family members, just make sure that they're ready to go for this, and we'll get going. If you have any questions, and I'm looking at the stream here, I see someone here I don't read Spanish. I wish I did. This is going to test the Christmas decorations. Somebody put, yeah, absolutely. The durability of anywhere from, say, South Georgia going up the Carolinas, especially the Northeast, man, you got to take care of those Christmas decorations. It's going to be a humdinger of a storm. So we're currently building. This is a new channel for those who have not been here before. Launched this back on October the 1st. We're about 804 now subscribers, which is great. But I'm not at the level yet to where these live broadcasts will get a lot of viewers, at least initially. So we're going to get better as we go through time. So anyway, that's your update for now. I'm going to go ahead and get the live weather wheel kind of going here. I'm going to take this down. We'll get the wheel going here for you, and I'll have another update for you probably late this afternoon. We're looking sometime around 4 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time, for your next update. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy.